Evening.
Evening. Ready to kick off. Welcome once again, and thank you for joining us. Just by way of introduction, my name is Rendani, and I'll be the one taking you through tonight's session. And really, the objective of tonight is just to really catch up on the bigger picture and also talk about the structure of the second workshop that we are running. We are really quite excited about the second workshop. For those that attended the first workshop, we received some positive feedback around that, and we're thankful for that. There are some few admin things that we've changed just to cater for that feedback regarding making some of the process easier for you. And I think when you look at tonight's session, you'll then be able to do it. You will then be able to just see how we are looking to simplify life in that regard. So the agenda for tonight, it's similar to the one we had in our workshop number 1. But I think what I would like to just spend more time on right now, or in tonight's session, is to get you back on track in terms of where we are heading. As far as things stand, you will be the first cohorts that will be sitting for the new ITC. So the new ITC is coming through next year. And I'm sure you might have heard in terms of how it's looking like, and in terms of some of the things that will really be expected of you. One of the major things around it is the change of the name from ITC to AIC, Initial Assessment of Competence. Whereas then the APC will continue to assess competence, but that one will be a professional competence. So we're going to just take a little bit of a track back in terms of just catching up on that, in order for you to just understand where we are heading, and therefore the significance of some of the things that we'll be focusing on now. And right now, we are also privileged because we have now covered quite a bit in test 1 from a UNISA perspective. And right now, we're going to be integrating some of those ideas with regards to what? With regards to this particular workshop. So I'm very excited about that. It will continue to build, and ultimately come test 4. That's when I'm sure, or I'm trusting that even UNISA will be exposing you to the kind of assessment you'll be exposed to in 2025. So I'm sure that brings both anxiety as well as excitement for this new thing that is going to happen. And I'm really hoping that all the preparation that you've been putting in, you've been making, will yield the anticipated results when we get to the end of the year, as well as AIC 2025. So we will also talk about the coverage for this particular one. I think one of the biggest change that we now have is an additional session for accounting, just to cater for those that are doing CTA level 1. So one of the feedback then was just a matter of, yes, I'm here, I would like the workshop, but I would like to see more of the coverage for that. And we thought we'll necessarily incorporate that as part of this particular workshop. So that's something that we have installed. Then, for those that are then essentially joining us, it's always quite probably well-mannered to just formally introduce the organization. So Endunamu is a 3-brand entity. under it being the institute, which is the one that will be administering the workshop. Then we've got the board course, which is the one that administer going forward, the AIC. And lastly, we've got our SAICA accredited as well as ICAS accredited APC professional program. When we joined each other last time, the program was only accredited by SAICA, but now it has gone a bit step up, and we are now fully accredited by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Zimbabwe. So it's very, very exciting for us, and it really affirms our continued commitment to excellence and just empowering not only professionals within our borders, but even beyond. And for us, it's always an opportunity to get to learn from our counterparts in Zim, a very set of brilliant cohorts, as well as some of the lecturing team members that I've worked with, studied with some of brilliant people back in my days. So very exciting to really be launching this program in Zim as well. And also from the last time we met, our program was mostly focused on CTA and leading to the CA's qualification. But since then, we've also incorporated the CIMA program into it. And now we've got a CIMA program currently preparing candidates that will be sitting for the August 2024 sitting. That program officially kicks off next week, and we are very excited about that. So the brand is always a growing one, and we are always excited and privileged about the opportunity to continue to make an impact to the lives of so many candidates that we get to partner with, as well as to yourselves. In platforms such as this and our formal programs that we offer. So this is us in a nutshell. All the brands are really focused on making a contribution to the transformation of the industry, because we really understand that there is quite an untapped talent, and our job is actually to contribute in getting you there. I'm sure by the time we encounter each other, you already have dreams that you have aspired to, roles that you aspire to, and kind of impact that you want to make with this designation. And for us, it's a big privilege for you to join us, for you to trust us with those dreams, and for you to choose us as your partner. So we are always very excited about that. And for those that are retaining, we also take it as a vote of confidence that you found value in the first workshop, and we are hoping that you will also do the same with this upcoming one. And I also see some of the names of those that are already registered with us, so it's always good to have you here. Then here, this is where I would want to just spend a little bit of time on. And this is because the new AIC is going to be based on this bubble right here. They have already a competency framework that talks about what to expect. And if I just talk about this once more, it is that the profession has evolved into just beyond delivering very smart technical professionals. But we are now thinking about developing business leaders. And in pursuit of developing business leader, we are recognizing that business leaders don't wake up every day and solve technical matters. For those that are working, you will come to realize that if you are in an audit environment, the partner, yes, they might come in when there is a complex technical matter, but their biggest impact is to actually convince the client that the view that you as the auditors have is actually indeed the appropriate or correct one. That does not require, it's not like you cannot say such things using the standard, but it's because it requires a different way to communicate. It requires a different way to engage, read what the client is saying, be able to analyze it, deal with it in a critical manner, and be able to persuade them to the view that you as an audit firm actually holds. So that in itself is not just simply pure talent in terms of technical skills, but it really talks to a bit more around it. And the bit more around it are the other aspects of what? Of these bubbles right here. That in this bubble, there is what we refer to as the enabling competencies. And one of those biggest enabling competencies that they want to incorporate is what we call business acumen. So business acumen is going to be a significant part of your APC, sorry, of your AIC. Why? Because when we talk about business acumen, we are really talking about the ability to contextualize. If now you've got the technical, but you are not able to unpack it in a scenario, you are not able to deal with it with a particular client, then that technical is as good as being useless. But clients want to say that I've got this issue. What do you think about it? So that is what clients are interested in. They're not interested in just you having some high-level knowledge, but they want that knowledge to add value in their processes. So that is a very important part about business acumen, that we are going to be contextualizing your learning in a scenario. And that means the scenario will need to be a real life business that has got accounting, tax, audit, as well as management accounting and finance issues. That's number one. And it follows that the second competency that will be expected of you when you attempt your AIC next year will be that of integrated thinking. So integrated thinking is a norm. I was with the ITC Gen candidates, the one that didn't make it, and we're just unpacking on a high level what happened. And one of the things that they mentioned is that they found the paper to be highly integrated compared to some of the ones that they've seen in the past. Highly integrated. And I completely agree with their view. I completely agreed with their analysis. The paper were integrated, highly so, where it required them to unpack different elements of a particular scenario. So one of the questions that I've recommended to you again this time is a previous ITC. And in it, there is accounting, there is auditing, and there is finance. So it is a paper that has got 3 components in it. We are going to be discussing the accounting piece only though, but I just want you to be now adjusting, accustoming your mind and conditioning your mind to what you are going to be seeing in terms of the level of integration. And you will see that it reads like a novel. You are busy reading it like, oh, wait, there's a problem here, governance, but you're like, wait, am I now in business combination? Wait, am I now in finance? And you're gonna find that question to be a really brilliant question. We are not going to then unpack all of it because governance we've done in workshop number 1, but that is now a benefit to you. It's a benefit because now you are able to say that that governance that I've learned, it is now expected to be an embedded knowledge to me. And therefore, examiners, if they set it it could be considered to be fair play. So now when you are going through that question, as much as we are not going to be discussing that governance piece, as much as we are not going to be discussing the finance piece, I will want you to be mindful of them. So the governance piece, I'll encourage you to answer and then focus on the one we are going to be discussing, the business combination piece. Then the finance, we're going to come back to it later on. And you're going to now start embracing that integrated thinking skills. And one of the things that it's all about there is because the integration is embedded in how business actually works. It's not forced in. What do I mean? Because when you acquire a company, it is important that you undertake evaluation. And after you undertake evaluation, you'll be expected to account for that acquisition in the books. So integrating valuation and business combination is very natural. So that's why I'm saying it was not forced in. It made quite a lot of sense to be there. And I'm sure that they didn't get just to have enough marks. Because if they had enough marks, I'm sure they would have thrown in strategy in there and it would have made still perfect sense. So those are some of the things that we will get to embrace as the norm, to say that it is not fine for me to study as if I'm only studying for test one only, but I need to find a technique of making things stick longer for the long term. That kind of studying, it's one of the most painful one. And the idea is you should not avoid it. You should not avoid it. You should not see it as something that you can be deferred later on. You have to start now. So when I'm saying that I gave you those questions intentionally, even though we're not going to discuss, don't think like it as if it's a bother. Don't think of it as if it's a waste of time. Because for someone who is now here and getting to then revise governance that they've covered in Feb, it means that that knowledge is no longer back in 2 months ago, but knowledge is now refreshed and it's something that they have. Come test 2, come test 3, it means that knowledge for someone is now a Feb problem. Whereas for you, it's just a month ago problem. So if we get to workshop number 3 and we now have another question, you are now able to start seeing and now further cementing it to the long term. Because someone even asked, how are we expected to do this? Unfortunately, you are expected to do it this way, the painful way, the way that will require you to find ways to commit things to long-term memory. And there is no any other way than just to keep at it. And having your own notes, in addition to the notes we provide, will be crucial. Because your own handwriting, your own thought process, your mind might be able to decipher it much quicker and unpack it much quicker. So there is therefore value in finding even an effective way to study. So those are some of the things that I just want you to start thinking about right now. I want you to start thinking about business acumen, integrated thinking skills, and one of the things that they've confirmed is critical thinking is going to be a norm. So the lecturers in workshop 1, they focused on helping you to read the scenarios, to get the very best of the meat of the core when it comes to what? To critical thinking. So come the next case study, and also a little bit with my management accounting class that we're gonna have. I'm gonna start exposing you to the Socratic questioning style. because he recommends that you need to always ask these 6 questions when you are studying, when you are debating, when you are arguing, when you are exploring, when you are making a decision. And these 6 questions, you're going to have them and they're going to stick until we meet again for the APC. And even beyond that, if you then want to be a business leader, you're going to find that the way of thinking in a critical manner will always help you to succeed. So we're going to start introducing that and furthermore explore that. So those are some of the things that I just want you to embrace. 1, business acumen. 2, integrated thinking. 3, critical thinking. Those are your enabling competencies. Out of that, by extension, you'll then have effective communication skills. You cannot tell me someone is a critical thinker and it does not come out in communication. All critical thinkers by nature are able to unpack their way of thinking. So if you are saying that sometimes I struggle to express myself, then for me is to check your critical thinking. And once you resolve your critical thinking, you will not struggle to express yourself, because critical thinking will always say, why are you writing this down? And it has to start when you're practicing. You cannot do it in an exam situation. When you're practicing, I want you to be brutally honest with yourself, to say what? I should not lie to myself. If I don't know something, then, and I have to think it through, I need to believe in what I'm thinking through. So I'm not encouraging you to skip questions, but I'm encouraging you to have that conviction of, if I was to write this to my partner, to my director, to my CEO, to my CFO, and they come and say, how? Why did you write this? You should say, I don't know, I just thought it was right. No, you should be saying that I may be wrong here, but this is how I was thinking about it. They need to be a logic behind it. Whether you and your CFO or your partner will agree on the logic, it's another thing. But I want you to start getting into the discipline of, I have to say what I believe in. I have to say what I can substantiate. I should never say, I don't even know why I wrote this. That attitude for where we are going has to stop. You have to get into the discipline of saying, whatever I put down, I have a basis of why I put it down. Whether Rendani agrees with it, whether Manda agrees with it, Kanye agrees with it, is another thing. That will be a learning opportunity for me. Or otherwise, I could be teaching them something as well. So I need to embrace that about my thinking capacity. Otherwise, the learning will always be slowed down. Where we are going, it's very important that we start embracing this concept of being business acumen, integrated thinking, critical thinking leaders. We need to embrace those things because the assessment structure is going to demand that from us. You need to also start reading widely. I see quite a lot of what, because some people always say that, yeah, but I don't have the money. I see News 24 in so many instances, and I'll encourage you to subscribe for their newsletter. Before you subscribe as a subscriber for their newsletter, once you subscribe, they send offers. Like the latest one I got 2 weeks back was R7 per month for the next 12 months. So you cannot tell me that that does not make this accessible. R7 only. You are able to access high quality journalism, business stories that you can always tap into, whether on your mobile, on your phone, or on your laptop, or wherever. Only R7 per month for the next 12 months. So that's less than what? That's less than R100, right? Is it not? It's essentially less than, just about what, 94 rands. That is what they want for an entire year of access to quality journalism. So I want you to then invest in yourself. Reading 1-2 articles per week, you don't need to be an expert. You have to just commit. 1 or 2 articles, the habits will form. Come June, you will find yourself saying 2 is actually a lot. You want to know more. Come December, you will be a different person. You'll not even recognize yourself. So it starts small. But I want you to embrace the fact that things are no longer the same. These exams are either going to become difficult to others, and for some, they're going to be much more enjoyable and fun. I'll want you to be the latter. I'll want you to be able to embrace this, to say that, yes, I know that this is not going to make this thing easier overnight, but with consistency and embracing what they want you to do is going to happen. And the last bubble is professional values and attitude. By nature, they are saying that CAs are excellent people. They are desire of new knowledge. They value long life learning. They are not content with knowing what they knew last year. You are not here for coming from CTA level 1 to CTA level 2 to just hope things will be exactly the same, but you should be looking forward to some of these things. This is the kind of CA that they want you to be. And I want you to start embracing this. I want you to get excited for this. Let it not be something that feels like it's being imposed on you, but embrace it and be a responsible business leader. I mean, this qualification now, it is being said, it is the most trusted profession in the world. So if you're going to wear the same honor, you have to show up as much. You have to, then when you say, I am a CASA, and they say, what is that? It is the leading accountancy professional qualification in the world, not in South Africa, in the world. What does that mean? One of the things that it means we are very good at what we do. That's how we are described. Just imagine, you get into a room and you just say, no, I'm a CA. Before I introduce myself, who are you? I'm a CA. That's how you need to enter into a room. Like, actually, you should say, I'm a CA SA, because that's how it is. And our counterparts in Zim, they also do what? Write the same papers. So you are really being built from the same pot. And you're going to be very brilliant people. You're going to make quite a lot of impact, but it requires quite a lot of investment. So please put that investment. So this is, for me, the bigger picture. I will not want us to disconnect. I will not want us to miss it. I will not want us to feel as if this qualification is too demanding. But we need to be able to see why it is demanding, because the world is not simple. Otherwise, the things that happen at Steinhoff, everyone will have been able to pick it up on day one that this accounting doesn't make sense. We have a problem here. You are lying about this revenue being generated, whereas years after years, such that that company was worth 200 billion, and in a moment's notice, it was worth around 20 billion. So we are required to be that smart. Then, how are we going to do that? Because this thing will require, as I'm saying, investment. You need to understand the work. Technical skills are important. They cannot be undermined. Yes, they're going to be tested and they're going to be incorporated in different ways. But overall, they will continue to be significant. So the principles will need to be studied and they will be significant and they need to be mastered. you need to be able to recall and drive the thinking there. Then the tutorials, they've already been issued. You now have them. So now the next thing is all about what? How do you prepare for them, and how do you get to build that critical and integrated thinking? And when we discuss, we're going to help you to become the examiner, to become a marker, and therefore score good marks. And when it comes to the administration, this is now the schedule. So today we are on the 12th, we are kicking off. Then we are back together on the 17th of what? Of April. Then we are back again on the 18th, and the rest will be like that. So this is the provisional one. And if anything changes, we will let you know. The idea is that we expected everyone to re-register so that we don't bother those that are no longer part of the first workshop with communication. So there are some that maybe were finishing their CTA with the other institutions. There were some that may have been needing the class for whatever reason. So we decided to then have a separate registration in order to just communicate with those that this information will be relevant. So that is the idea here. Then the schedule, you will have seen that when you registered, it was sent to you. So everything is in there. Then additionally, the links to the material will provide you with the workshop 1 content. It will provide you with the workshop 1 content. If you missed any of those, then you will still be able to access it from there. So we'll just be adding onto it now workshop 2 content. Then the discussion questions, the lecture discussion, all of it will be via that link. The idea is we want to just make sure that 48 hours before the lecture, you have the content. And the tutorial session, to just make it easier, we will make them available 48 hours following the end of the workshop. Then all the sessions will be recorded and will then be made available in your OneDrive folder, as well as on YouTube. By the end of the workshop, everything will be sorted. So that is just the administration to ensure we are well aligned. For any guidance, you will see that we provided the administration email. Please use the administration emails for all the queries, which is ctacare@endonamu.co.za. Then I thought we'll also talk about the coverage. So the coverage, accounting, as I'm saying, we've got 2 coverage. We've got the groups 1, and we also now have what? We also have the financial instrument for CTA level 1. So CTA level 1, some of you were here. You will have remembered that when it comes to workshop number 1, we spent quite a lot of time on liabilities. So now we're going to labor even more on what? On financial assets. We never talked about things like impairment. We never got to talk about business models. We never got to talk about what happens when you sell an instrument. So that's going to be our focus this time around. So the question that you have, though, has got both financial assets and liabilities. So a very good question. Then in addition, if you already are registered, it'll be good to spend time on those financial instruments videos. There's quite a lot that Asen did for you, and they will really be instrumental in bridging some of the gaps that you might have. Then in other aspects, the topics for level 1 and 2 are very much aligned, and we are going to do what? We are going to therefore work together in that regard. So there's decision making for CTA level 1 and CTA level 2. And some of the internal costing method, CTA level 1, I've already covered in test 1. So when we start discussing things like standard costing, transfer pricing, performance evaluation, those are some of the things that we will then get to talk about on a high level before you go into a discussion. Then when it comes to tax, again, there's alignment. We are now jumping into corporate tax, and those are the topics that we'll be focusing on. Then the tutorials are also included in the workshop document, just to make sure we are aligned. So the accounting question, ITC, 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 and one of our own. So out of the 5 questions, 80% of them are ITC questions. So we just want you to just understand where everything is at and to be able to contextualize everything. And that's that is the plan for the workshop. So I don't know whether there are any questions or any point of clarity that you just want to have. We've changed some process around the register. We'll want everyone to please complete the register on a daily basis. It just helps just when we evaluate how the workshop is going, to evaluate the administrative process, to evaluate how you are finding the lectures that we are delivering, so that if there's an opportunity to improve, we're able to do so. And when it comes to what? When it comes to yes, yeah, the registers, I think that's just about it. So if you can please, who's online? If you can please share the register for tonight. I'm not sure who it is. If you can please just share the register, because we always just want to really see then the impact, to see whether there is any particular preference in terms of how we do things, and as I'm saying, how best we can deliver this workshop to you. You will also see in the register, we are looking to introduce some of the sessions via face-to-face. It's always good to connect, and you might then find that when you get to meet the lecturers, when you get to meet your fellow colleagues, it might make this journey to be less daunting. So we love face-to-face. Yes, we know you have to travel and so on. That's why for now, we are only looking at at the weekend classes. But if you can make it, if you are around Gauteng, we will love to have you. We'll love to get to meet you and get to connect with you. Excuse me. Then, when it comes to the competition, we did have a competition in the first workshop, but I think some of the administration of it didn't work as well. We have now also clarified that. But we will then be confirming that the person that we had awarded the prize for in the first workshop, and that's there is someone that then complied with the guidance and then shared accordingly. So we'll be announcing, but this time we've gone a step further to just clarify how it works, what is expected, and you'll then get to see it as you engage in the workshop. And who knows, you might be the next lucky person into what in this particular workshop. So hoping that hoping for the very best, but I don't know whether there's any one of you that just wants to ask something or make a comment before we conclude our session. Anyone? So based on your experience for test one, and based on your experience for test one and the workshop, what do you believe you still need in order to just make sure that this thing is in the bag for you? Maybe let me hear from you. Mandisa, if you are here, you should have successfully registered. So maybe just to clarify, well, how did you get here? I just want to make sure I'm with you.
Okay, I'm not sure if my thingy, am I audible?
I can hear you, Mandisa. Sure.
Okay, there was a link on the group, the Endomundo group. So there was a link there. So that's how I was able to log in. But like I haven't been receiving emails or anything. So that's why I wanted to find out how exactly do I register.
So you said on the what do you call it, on the
WhatsApp group.
On the WhatsApp group. So the WhatsApp group, because if you are already registered in the program, you don't need to register for the workshop. When you access the course, all the links are then made available via the workshop folder there. So for our registered candidates, they don't need to further register. So, but if you are there in that WhatsApp group where the link was shared, are you already registered? Just to confirm, in the program.
That's what I'm trying to find out exactly if I'm registered or not, because I can't get to access the material, because last time I would access the material through someone had shared to me the thingy, the document, and then I'll just go to the link and then provide it on that document. So that's the issue at hand.
Oh, so you are not registered in the main program, you are just here for the workshop, right? Just to make sure.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think the problem is, yeah, because you didn't get to register last time, the communication only goes to the people that were registered. So you will need to register. I don't know, the online team, can you share the link for the registration here? Who is online today? Who is online? Can you please share the link for the registration? Services.
Renani, I can share it with the team. I'll share it shortly on the chat.
All right, thank you, Nama. All right, any other question? Are we all clear? Humutso, I see your hand. Please go for it.
Thanks, Randani. I just wanted to check. I heard you say there's an opportunity to attend face-to-face classes. Where is that like communication like uploaded on the website, or is that communication shared via WhatsApp? Sorry, I just registered and I'm still new in this thing, so don't mind my questions.
Oh yeah, so maybe it was shared before. So I'll just ask it to be shared again, or maybe posted into the announcement group. But did you got the CTA care email, right?
Yes, I do have that email.
Yeah, so please, if you can, just drop us an email there and say, yeah, you need something. So even one of the caretakers can just call you and just walk you through everything so that you can find your way around everything.
Okay. No, that'll be
Yeah.
great. Thanks.
Sure.
Thanks.
All right, cool. Right. Yeah, I think that's all I've got today. So yeah, any question you have, please drop an email to the CTA care email address, and then the team will be more than happy to just take care of you and do it and just help you accordingly. So, but yeah, if you are registered, then I'll just need to follow up with the caretakers and make sure that you get a proper onboarding. You should get one of our caretakers automatically contacting you and just making sure that you are familiar with everything, where to find yourself, where to get things, and so on and so on. But if no one has made contact, please just drop an email there and I'll just make sure it reaches the right people and for you to get the support you need. Bernice, hi.
Hi, sir. Somebody also commented, can you hear me perfectly? I'm sorry. I'm not sure. My
Sure,
network
I
is a
can.
little bit okay. Somebody also said on the chat box, I'm also having the same problem. It actually says no permission. We can't actually access the registered website, the registered link. We can't film anything. It just says no permission.
I see. What is happening? Where is the online team? I clicked it again and it worked. Or you just clicked it again and it worked, just to confirm.
Let me double check it on my side.
Okay.
Now it's working now.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right, cool. All right, cool. Yeah, I think if there's nothing else, we should be good for tonight. But if there's anything that you need, we are always available to assist. Please don't hesitate to contact. If you are lost and you're trying to find a way, just simply say that. The team will be more than happy to assist. I'll not want you to be all alone and confused. Okay. Yeah, that is what I had is thought for today. So this presentation I'll also put in the folder that I was talking about. So if you want to refer to it at any point, you can, and the team will then just share with you the link to this open day. And then next week, what happens is that we'll then send a timetable at the beginning of the week, and you will then have all the links there just to help you to confirm. And if you don't get the announcement, we'll just confirm also via the WhatsApp group, so that we are able, to assist accordingly. But all right, that's me. Thank you so much for meeting you. I'm sure we'll get to talk. Lutando, you were quiet tonight. I hope you're good.
Yes, I'm good, sir.
All right, good. All right, we will talk. And don't forget to prepare a team. Looking forward to it. Have a good night and have a good Friday.
All right. Thanks. Cheers. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.